Hello everyone, welcome back to another Stitches and Scribbles video. Today we're doing our November podcast with kind of all of the updates and stuff for this month. I will say that there's not as many updates or things to show you as I normally have every month because I am a teacher and it is conferences season, which means that we got very busy very fast all of a sudden. There was a lot of stuff to do with comments and setting up Zoom links for parents to do conferences and all of that stuff. So I don't have a ton of stuff to show you. I've really been focusing on kind of low energy, easy crochet and knit projects just to have something to kind of relax and work on slowly and not have to put too much thought into it. So because of that, I have had kind of a delay in some of my videos, or even once this month, I did not have a video come out on a Friday like I usually do, just because I was feeling kind of overwhelmed with all the stuff that's going on. But I do have a few things to show you today. So for some reason, recently I have been really into neon colored yarn. Usually I kind of stick with like earthy tones and darker things. But I don't know if it's because the weather is getting kind of darker or if I just needed some more color in my life, but I have been really gravitating towards bright and colorful fun yarns. So I have a couple to show you and a couple like bright colorful projects to show you as well. So the first thing I got was 2 skeins of the anti-pilling DK colors, and this is from Premier Yarns. This is one of their, I believe their in-house brands. But I got 2 skeins, or 2 cakes in the color Parrot. So it's some lovely teal, blue, magenta, purple, and bright Kelly green shades. Really nice and fun and vibrant. I bought these because I had a credit on Premier websites from their like points system, and it was a kind of a use it or lose it thing, so I went ahead and ordered these. I'm really excited about these colors. I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet, again because these are kind of outside of what I normally wear and use, but I'm thinking maybe a fun shawl or like an infinity scarf and hat set might be where these guys go to. The other yarn I got is both from, or all of it is from Hobby Lobby. So I think I've mentioned before in videos that one of my favorite yarn cake brands is the Yarn Bee Sugar Wheels. And the reason I like these is because lately I've been making a lot of amigurumi, and a lot of them I want very specific colors, but I don't want to buy a whole skein of that color because I know that for some of them I'm like never going to use that color again. So I got this one because I really wanted the coral and the turquoise, and this happened to be a skein that had both. So I'm probably going to cut this apart and use it for just those 2 colors and save the grays for something else, or for when I do need gray for a project. And that method has been working out really well for me to kind of save on the amount of yarn I get, because if I were to buy a whole skein of coral just for one project, I would probably not use the leftover coral for anything else, and I would end up with the entire skein going in my scrap bin. So this has been a way for me to kind of cut down on how many different skeins I have in my collection and really just get the colors that I want and need for projects. But this is a great yarn for that because each color has enough in it that you can make quite a bit with it without running out. So I got that one is the color Mango Puff. And I also got this colorway, which is called Parisian Macaroon. So this one, I specifically wanted the bright green that was in here to make another Among Us character, which I will show you what that looks like after I'm done with yarn. The last yarn that I bought was also from Hobby Lobby, from their new hand-dyed collection. So this is from the Yarn Bee brand. This color is called Roasted Pepita, and it is a hand-dyed yarn in neon greens and royal blues with just a touch of like reds, burgundies, and browns in there. Again, I don't know what is drawing me towards these neon colors lately, but for some reason I saw the neon green and royal blue and I just needed it in my life. So this will probably become a shawl or a triangle scarf something like that just to add a pop of color to plain outfits, and I'm really, really excited about that. Speaking of Among Us, I did crochet a crewmate amigurumi in blue. This guy was also made from a sugar wheel that I pulled apart for a different project, and I had this color, but I usually play Among Us as lime green or dark green with the pumpkin hat, so I really wanted the lime green yarn to make another one. So this was kind of the test version of it, but I think he turned out pretty cute. My middle school students thought he was very cool, but that he needed a hat. So we might be making some Among Us hats in the near future so that both my blue one and the green one I'm hoping to make can have one. The other little creature I made was this guy. So I think I showed in my last update that I've been really enjoying making kind of random little monsters where I don't really start with a pattern, I don't really start with an idea, I kind of just go with whatever I want to do with that yarn. And this one kind of turned into a bunny rabbit. He's got little safety eyes and a hat pom-pom for a tail. But I thought this turned out really cute. I put a lot of plastic beans in him, so he's very heavy and kind of like very satisfying to like drop and toss around. I kind of was thinking that once we are back to school in person and things are back to normal, this would be a great type of animal for like a circle activity with students where you have to pass something around, because he's got that nice weight but doesn't have a bunch of pieces that could be pulled off or anything. It's just the little bunny ears and the tail. So I thought this turned out pretty cute. Right now it sits on my desk with another monster, the Among Us guy, and my bumblebee. I can show those real fast. This is the other monster that I made a little while ago, who's sitting on my desk, and my bumblebee. For some reason the bumblebees are really big on TikTok right now, so I knew I had to make one. I was really excited that I added in some marker details for the little rosy cheeks. I don't know if I've shown this one off in a video yet, but it turned out pretty cute. So those 4 little characters all sit on my desk every day while I am teaching. I have a couple of whips to show you, and for this month I focused on whips that would clean out my stash bin because it had gotten very, very large. There was a lot of yarn in there, and like I said earlier in this update video, I was really looking for some really easy, simple, relaxing projects to work on. So that's what I decided to do. So the first one I'll show you, which is actually very, very close to being done, is a rainbow scrap baby blanket. Do I know anybody who's currently pregnant? No. I just really wanted to make a baby blanket. I realized I had a lot of lightweight pastel yarns, so I just put them all together into one baby blanket. So the only ones I have left are some more of the coral peachy tones and a pink. So it's almost done, but I love how this is turning out. I don't know who it's gonna go to, but I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous and I'm really excited about it. It's just half double crochet stitches, so really easy stitch, and I am holding 2 strands of yarn together. So what I did is I kind of laid out all of the yarns in rainbow order and then held 2 together as I was crocheting. When one skein ended, I started the other one, which is how you kind of get that blended, almost like paint looking effect. So like you can see in these stitches, I started with purple and gray, and then it becomes purple and blue, and then the blue carries through a little bit of this kind of white light blue section and so on. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. It was a lot prettier than I was expecting it to be, and I'm really excited about it. Again, don't know anyone who's having a baby anytime soon. My friends are still in the age group where like people are starting to get married and think about that next stage of life, but no one's quite there yet. So I'm sure in like the next 2 to 5 years, all of my friends will suddenly be in need of baby blankets, but we are not quite there yet. The second work in progress is kind of the same idea, but a full-sized one. So I am making squares exactly the same way as the baby blanket I just described, but with some of my heavier, more like 3 and 4 weight yarns, and I'm doing that same thing of holding 2 strands together and just doing the half double crochets, but I'm making them in squares because I hate when a blanket gets so big that you like can't turn it anymore and it becomes really annoying. So I decided to do it in squares. Some of them are rainbow order, some of them are only like parts of the color spectrum. Like this one is going to be all blues and greens, but it's so far is cleaning out my stash bin pretty well. I've probably gotten rid of about half of it at this point. So that's the square I'm currently working on. I'll show you a different one so you can see what one of them looks like kind of more finished. So this is a finished one, and that is the full range of color it goes through. So I started with black and gray, then added pink, red, orange, yellow, kind of a multicolor, olive green, neon green, and pastel green. So these are 50 chains wide, and it's half double crochet, and I've been doing 44 rows. And what size hook am I using for this? It's a pretty big one. I think it's like a 7mm. So I have that one. I have this one that started with white and light blue. This is actually one of the yarns that was also in the baby blanket, and just kind of goes through greens and a little bit of a multicolor that has some pink and purple in it. And then the very first one that I made for this blanket is more of a full rainbow color spectrum square. So I did white, pink, red, orange, that olive, light green, medium green, neon green, that purple, pink, olive, turquoise, kind of whatever. This was the first one that I started with, so it has the craziest colors. And from there, I'm just kind of working through my stash in sections. So hopefully when it's done, I will have a full-size blanket, and if not, I'll just hold on to the squares and keep going when I do have more scraps to work with. I hope that you enjoyed seeing all the projects. As far as to give you updates for what we're doing, or why do I always refer to myself as if I'm multiple people? What I am doing in the near future, I'm trying to space out my videos a little bit more so that I don't have as many big projects per month that need to be filmed. As you guys know, I was really procrastinating on my Dungeons and Dragons series, which I have no one to blame for but myself. I do intend to finish that series, but I'm going to try to redo my filming schedule so that I only have one Dungeons and Dragons pattern coming out a month, because those are pretty big projects and they were taking me a very long time, and I think added to the stress of everything else that's going on. And knitting should not be stressful. Crochet should not be stressful. Like, this is supposed to be fun. So I'm taking a step back and spacing it out a little more, but that means that I'm going to have room for more smaller tutorials. So if you have anything that you are interested in seeing, like basic stitch patterns, how I put together amigurumi, some like little amigurumi patterns like what I did for Halloween with the candy corn and the pumpkin, let me know, because I'm really interested in doing those. I will also say that I have all of December pre-filmed because I started over the summer. So for the month of December, you will get 3 tutorials a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and all of them will be gift ideas. So there's going to be a lot of little tutorials coming up in December. And then after that, we will go back to finishing the Dungeons and Dragons stuff and some other fun patterns. So yeah, that's where we are at right now. Again, if you have any interest in seeing anything specific from me, please let me know in the comments below so that I can work on those, especially if they're little simple things that you want to see. I hope you enjoyed seeing everything this month, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye everybody!